Did you know there are things you do every day that don't seem like sin to you, but before God, they actually are? Many times we justify them by saying, "It's not that serious," or "Everyone does it." Without realizing it, those small compromises can be opening spiritual doors that affect our peace, our clarity, and our relationship with God. Today I want to talk to you about everyday behaviors that many believers have normalized, and that, not to point fingers or load you with guilt, because when God... Number 1. Gossip. Gossip rarely presents itself as obvious evil. It almost always will talk about others lightly, share incomplete stories, repeat versions they didn't witness, and justify it all with phrases like, "I'm just telling you so you can pray." The problem is not only what is said, but the spirit from which it is said. Every time we talk about someone who is not present without the goal of building them up, something deteriorates inside us. Gossip breaks trust, feeds judgment, and creates invisible divisions that later are very difficult to repair.
Discernment.
Spiritually, gossip trains the heart to view life through suspicion rather than grace. Over time, this practice dulls spiritual sensitivity, because where there is gossip, the Holy Spirit remains silent. Choosing to pray instead of comment is a deep form of obedience. When you renounce gossip, you become someone trustworthy, that their mouth will destroy what his hands want to heal. Number 2. White lies. So-called white lies are often justified as a way to avoid conflict or protect feelings. They appear as small adjustments to the truth, strategic omissions, or comfortable answers. However, truth is not just a moral value, it is a spiritual principle. When a person becomes accustomed to lying in small things, their conscience becomes flexible and they're distorted. Spiritually, this has deep consequences because God works from light, not from ambiguity. Choosing truth requires courage, but it produces freedom. Speaking the truth in love strengthens relationships and builds a stable inner life. A faith that cannot sustain every... God honors those who allow their words to reflect what truly lives in their heart. Number 3. Complaining. Complaining has become so common that almost no one perceives it as a spiritual problem. Complaining about work, money, people, the pace of life, or even about God himself has been normalized as a form of relief. However, complaining is not neutral. It shapes the way we interpret reality. Little by little, the heart stops expecting and begins to resign itself, and that resignation kills faith. When complaining becomes a habit, the soul loses its ability to recognize what is good. A way of seeing develops that is spiritually. Complaining wears down trust and weakens gratitude, two essential pillars of a healthy relationship with God. Placing complaint does not mean denying pain, but choosing not to define reality only from it. Gratitude is a spiritual act of resistance. Every time you consciously give thanks, you regain perspective and allow God to return to the center. Number 4. Envy. Envy does not always show itself as open hatred. Many times it appears as silent comparison. We observe other people's lives, their achievements, their processes, and their blessings, and we measure our own life against that reference. This constant comparison erodes gratitude and distorts identity. Envy not only desires what belongs to others. The path to inner peace begins with a single step, a choice to find calm in the chaos. The reflection shows us where we are, but the surface holds the truth of where we want to be. The way ahead is within you.